let's get back up to the box. I'm waiting for us there for this first match of the day. It's Leif Shiras and Barry Milnes.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Marcus. Yes, bright start certainly from Nadal yesterday in his bid to regain a title. He's won on a couple of occasions before, but maybe a little trepidation coming in here. The unknown quantity for him in terms of facing Janowicz for the very first time. Interestingly, the Pole won the spin of the coin and elected to receive. He had his own issues yesterday with his serve. Indeed, he's had it all week with that arm problem, so maybe that is one reason why. Rafa took a little while to assess his opponent yesterday in Jerzy Janowicz, but once he'd got ahead early-ish, then he just raced away with it, and not much that the Canadian could do there, but a very different figure, very different game that he faces from the Pole, who's now seeded, of course, after his terrific rise up the rankings over the last 12 months. And that is Janowicz in a nutshell. Great power, use of the court, and then the touch leaves. Well, welcome to his world, I guess. What about Rafa against this man today? What do you think?
Well, you have to like what Janowicz can do on the tennis court, because he flattens out his ground strokes and takes these top spinning shots really at the top of the bounce, and he flattens it out. And when he's hitting it in like he did in that exchange, you can see this guy is a dangerous opponent.
Rafa showing his own class as well, and his ability around the net, which has always been of very high quality.
And Nadal's standard position in these rallies, he likes to retreat behind the baseline and play his defensive brand of tennis. I mean, Janowicz has the kind of game we saw from these early moments that he can match up pretty well with that. There's a lot to look forward to in this first exchange between an emerging star and an established legend.
How awkward he made it there with that return. Shame from his point of view he didn't make more of the next shot to finish it off.
It looked like he was almost a little surprised that Nadal was able to track down that miss-hit return.
Anything short, he'll gobble it up. Giant of a man, and he goes after this return with total conviction. So immediately his choice of receiving is showing promise here with a break point. A pressure point for Nadal, and typically that's his answer.
Yeah, that's some serve. How often does he bend it out wide, get the next ball on his forehand? You know, that time he changed it up nicely, took it right down the tee. Janowicz wasn't even near it.
Almost caught Rafa napping there off that return up the line. That was unexpected. Both men pushing, probing, seeing what they can find, where they might find the weakness in this first encounter. This man looked miserable for much of his match yesterday against Janowicz, but if he can't get up to play Nadal, then perhaps he should think and look elsewhere for his profession. I'm sure he will be today. He's really come out as Barry Cowan said he should, swinging from the hip. So that was a test, but it's handled well enough. Nadal first on the board.
And Janowicz will have a few, be fairly flamboyant with his mistakes, as he can be flamboyant with his winners. But his best tennis is when he is going after it, when he's dictating play. He defends pretty well. Nobody has plenty of agility, and he'll need it today. Obviously, Nadal's going to track down everything.
And for Rafa, of course, every day really turning up to play on hard courts. You wonder how he will be, having played a match yesterday for the first time in 6 weeks and on a surface that has historically been such an issue for him physically with the knees. But good to see again that there's no tape on. Said he felt pretty comfortable with things at the start of the week. But it's incessant hard courts now, isn't it, really, for the rest of the year? So it's always a tougher time for him in the season.
It's amazing to think, isn't it, that he's really just playing his second hard court event. He played Indian Wells, obviously had a great run in the California desert, skipped to Miami, and that was it.
We've already seen the first double fault today from Janowicz, and there were 11 of them yesterday and 9 the day before.
A little bit of nerves showing in this service game. I mean, that's the bread and butter shot. Center of the court, weight on the front foot, and he missed it by 10 feet long. So he's got his mind on this man and not on the tennis ball, which is understandable.
15 seconds.
Burst onto the scene in Paris last year, the final Masters stop of the season. For Nadal, well, the experience he has, this today is his attempt to reach a 57th Masters 1000 quarter-final.
Settled himself down nicely, didn't he? Put the toss in exactly the right spot. Great execution on that first delivery.
Jerzy Janowicz.
That's just a great service game. And he has the height that players like Raonic and Kevin Anderson, some of these very tall players have. But I sense he's got a little more sort of flexibility. There's something loose about him that you like.
And he's certainly got some attitude. And likes to mix it, shake up the top four. He's made some comments that have been arguably out of place in recent months about the likes of them being rather, well, certainly for Federer and Djokovic, uncomplimentary. Just pushed wide. Nadal did an amazing job of that one, right at his face. Get it back in play. And now he knows how hard this man can hit the ball.
Just an amazing reflex from Rafa. I mean, he actually played a forehand volley on his right shoulder. It was sort of the old frying pan volley. Maybe that's not such a bad play. You know, if you go straight up the middle against your opponent on a couple of occasions, maybe he just is expecting the next one right at him. Gives you a little more space, perhaps down the sides.
The winner of this match will face either Marinko or Matosevic, who's a qualifier, who came through with victory over Tommy Haas when he was forced out with a shoulder injury yesterday. Yes, either Matosevic or Benoit Paire, the Frenchman, and they are also on court in the second stadium. Paire, an early break up there, leading 2-1. Going to swing at that, just long. Nadal trying to cramp him up with a serve into the body. Still gave himself the room to make the return, but it is Nadal's game. He leads. And in our picture, of course, Nadal taking on Janowicz, first match, but coming up before 7 p.m. Gulbis against Murray. What a match that might be. Juan Martín del Potro later on against Milos Raonic, one of 2 Canadians through to this stage. And Novak Djokovic, the night match against Denis Istomin. Michael Berdych and Davydenko also featuring today. The place to be if you want the best of tennis right now. Coming live to you from Montreal on Sky Sports.
He's got good preparation on the forehand. It's not too long a swing. So he seems to have the measure of the timing on that forehand pretty consistently. I think the only time he struggles with it is perhaps if it comes off a little flat, particularly if the ball's sort of low. But that serve allows him to play with more freedom. He's behind his last service game, down love 30, able to get a lot of first serves in. And when you can get through your service games easily like this, it just makes you feel confident, takes a little pressure off your return games. You really feel like you can go for it.
Both these men with a busy day ahead of them, not just this match, but doubles matches to come. Nadal alongside Pablo Andujar will be in action later on, and Janowicz alongside Britain's Dominic Inglot, also involved in the doubles today. Bearing in mind the ongoing underlying issue as ever with Rafa's knees, does it surprise you he's come back wanting to play doubles as well this week?
Yeah, I think that was a good sign, wasn't it, that he's out playing doubles. Clearly he wants to get his footing, get his traction. And I think he does that usually in Indian Wells also. He likes to get the hard court season, or at least those times of the year, solidly slotted in his confidence, get his rhythm together.
And perhaps playing doubles he doesn't see as an onus on him physically. Would you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so, yeah. That's a nice way to practice without pressure. Because when he's on the practice court, he tends to grind pretty hard. He puts a lot of stress on his body. So I think doubles is a nice way to sort of avoid that.
Talking of practice, certainly Roger Federer, birthday boy today. Happy birthday, Roger Federer, 32 years young. He's been practicing with American Dennis Kudla. Paul Anaker tweeting a picture of that, saying he had a good hit. So hopefully he'll be back for Cincinnati next week. Nadal's love game, another lead. The battle certainly joined between the two. Fascinating viewing.
3 games to 2.
It's inexplicable how he does struggle on his serve at times. It looks like his rhythm just comes down on the serve. You know, he drops a little bit of his shoulders and the motion gets ahead of itself, and usually he misses it in the net. See if he can get up on the bottom of this ball, carry the net. And then after that second serve,
184 kilometers per hour. 5-1 serve in his first match at 233 Ks.
Nadal is charging the ball on the right service line. Ball was ball in.
Damian Steiner. Get a complete look at it, but you can see the challenge system getting a pretty good look at it, though.
Another gem. Undercutting that ball, and even Nadal unable to burst out of the blocks and track it down.
Now, he does this well off the backhand side, but you can see he's got it in the forehand as well. He prepares like he's going to drive the forehand. It's rare that you see Rafa not even make a move on a ball. I mean, he knew he was beat.
Point more to Rafa's liking, going long in the rally, or longer, with some rhythm. Jerzy Janowicz has got such an explosive game. He's be looking to finish it off earlier.
You know, the way Janowicz is playing, it reminds me a little bit of the same kind of tennis that Ernest Gulbis produces when he plays against Nadal. He's not afraid of the Spaniard's spin. He just steps up and hits through the spin, and that's why Gulbis has had some pretty competitive matches with Nadal. Similar styles, good strong serves, heavy ground strokes, great drop shots, and a little bit of attitude as well. And I like that play from Janowicz. I have a feeling, though, by the time we get into the second set, Nadal's going to get a bearing, sort of get his range on the ball and start to come to terms with the pace. Nadal has struggled to find his best tennis so far.
Janowicz. 3 games.
So holding his own at the moment, the mighty Spaniard. And as we saw, the first percentage by no means where he'd really like it to be, only around the 50% mark, but in terms of unreturned serves, when they've been that quick.
Janowicz has a pretty intense glare, doesn't he? You know, his eyebrows down low. Very serious. He's got a real look about, he means business out there.
I feel the likes of John Isner, Sam Querrey, Karlovic, that they could all learn something from that. They're all a bit too meek and mild, aren't they? With such a stature that they have.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever describe Janowicz as being laid back, which I think you could describe Querrey and Isner. Pretty laid back characters.
Again, 30-15.
And if you are going to be aggressive, like the pole is on his return game, so hit it in those high percentage patterns. Inside out on that forehand back cross court. That's over the low part of the net. Even if you hit the ball hard, you can still play high percentage. Because he produces the kind of pace, if he just gets the return in, it's going to have an effect.
Again, forced to move sharply to make the return, but he does so. Francisco Roig, deputy coach to Nadal. Uncle Tony absent this week. And he has the reach as well. Nadal trying to clip that past him with the angle, but Janowicz, tall man, wide wingspan, covered it.
And again, the drop shot isn't so much about hitting a clean winner. It's about creating this situation where he can defend the net, bring his opponent up to the net. Because he feels he has a great chance of winning the point, as you said. He's got the great reach, very flexible. He can play from all parts of the court. He likes to create that situation where both guys are up at the net.
Well, not for the first time today. Nadal producing an ace under pressure on serve. Half chance he created there, but unable to take advantage of it. Still on serve, Nadal ahead again. Good against the Latvian. Del Potro being in form again. Raonic. And of course Novak Djokovic tonight against Dennis Istomin. I think he was going to go for the challenge, but on close inspection, decided against it.
Now that was an important hold for Nadal. That was the last game with the balls they warmed up with the first 7 games. So these are brand new tennis balls, so they're going to move through the air pretty quickly.
On the line, Nadal makes the play. Janowicz is now challenging this. Sometimes the toughest to judge when they're so close to you.
Mr. Janowicz has 2 challenges to make.
These are vital moments in this set, in this match.
15 seconds.
And if he's going to have a chance to pull off an upset today, I feel like he's got to win the first set. And that has to be his goal here. So holding onto his serve here is vital. So this is one of the biggest points of the set.
He was certainly aggressive on the last point. He stuck to the game plan. And he really does not hold back on that second serve.
That's one of the great things of a young player, the fearlessness to play and go for your shots. And Pete Sampras pretty much did that his entire career, but a lot of players, as you get into your late 20s, 30s, you lose just that nerve to play such high-risk tennis under pressure.
Rafa's had to do a lot of that already, and there'll be a lot more, no doubt. This time, Janowicz had it all covered.
You know, and these kinds of plays really have to bother Nadal. I mean, as a player, it's not a lot of fun to track down drop shots. Plus, he likes to move side to side.
How infrequently have we seen Nadal today in his real comfort zone, which is in that juice court, wailing away with the forehand and absolutely dictating. He's not been allowed to get there very often today, not yet. And given the total run around there, it's a very potent combination.
And the other thing about someone who plays a lot of drop shots, you just start getting a little annoyed. You know, you feel like he's toying with you. You know, and even if you're Rafael Nadal, you feel like, what? Is this guy going to actually play this way? But this is his style of tennis. It's also the kind of style of tennis that can get under your skin a little bit.
Jerzy Janowicz.
So a burst of emotion from the big man. A good hold from him. Having said that, he was very reliant on the second serve. He keeps missing a number of first serves. The percentage has gone down to 43, 42% now. But in terms of points conceded on serve, just the one on his first and only half a dozen on his second. stop on
Janowicz
that
challenging the ball. Right
serve.
service line. Ball was calling. It's not the same mark. It's not that mark. All time. 15 seconds. Mr. Janowicz has one challenge to make.
Pretty ambitious challenge. You know, first point of the game, second serve. I mean, you have time on that ball. He opted to stop and challenge.
30 seconds.
You can see how much work Rafa is having to make and do already in this match. He looks like a running tap, doesn't he? Sweat pouring off him.
Yeah, Nadal is doing a nice job matching J squared with his strong service games. And that's what you do against guys who serve well, whether you're playing Raonic, Karlovic, Anderson, Isner. You have to protect your serve as well.
40 seconds. 40-15.
And if you're playing someone like, David Ferrer, well, you're going to get a few swings on his serve. You might even break him a set or a couple times a set.
That was a late surprise yesterday. Ferrer's lost to Bogomolov.
Yeah.
2 and 4.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Although for his first hardcourt event, Bogey's had a pretty intense season of World Team Tennis. He also played in Atlanta. I mean, DC. So he's played a fair amount of hardcourt tennis leading into it. So good result for him. He's
had break points on Nadal. He had him at deuce in another game. Lucky man.
You don't see Nadal miss that shot too often, do you? And this game has suddenly gotten very interesting indeed, and this is a lucky break here. Watch the net cord. Just drops over. And I think Janowicz may have thrown Nadal off because he had a good first step on that shot.
So well aimed and directed, that curling into Janowicz, cramping up that forehand return that has already done some damage. Another one into the body that's shot through. So Nadal still holds and leads 5-4.
5 games to 4.
Guillermo Vilas.
Come on.
Charolitis.
Come on, when is it?
Tim Mayotte, Brad Gilbert, Mats Wilander, Leif Shirek.
Janowicz serving to stay in the first set. Oh yes, Rafa had to come forward a lot already, and that one so well taken, the chance to rip this past.
Yeah, not an easy pass. I mean, the ball's dropping quickly. He gets his racket below the ball, able to get it up and down. This time it's Rafa apologizing for the net court.
Kicking serve.
15.
Easier day weather-wise at the moment for the players. Janowicz struggled in the strong breeze yesterday. I think that's probably one of the things that irritated him when he was trying to get through to this stage, but he needs to focus right now at 15:30. And he can't miss as many first serves as this and hope to get away with it, surely.
See, and this is what Nadal was hoping for. You know, get enough balls back into play. Just work this guy. And he handled that serve better. He was rewarded for it.
Little look from Nadal to the line judge, but that's caught the corner. One saved. Fine point from both. Janowicz standing up to the pressure well enough and still in the game at the moment.
Yeah, and this is where he's such a wonderful all-court player. That's not an easy volley. Protects the net well. Good balance. I think he made a good decision. I'm going to come in, force Nadal to come something good on the backhand side. Anticipated that pass cross-court well.
Oh my goodness, that's brilliant! From such an acute angle to get a return even more acute. Set point number 3.
An impressive 1-2 to win another big point. Fight off a third set point.
Do you think this first serve might show up again? It's gone AWOL.
Janowicz. Jerzy Janowicz.
A massive game from the giant from Lodz in Poland. Some character shown there, Lee.
Yeah, really did. I mean, if he can find a first serve under that kind of pressure and then back it up with something big off the forehand, you deserve to be at 5 games all. And a little disappointment for Nadal. You know, I know he's so good though at putting that sort of missed opportunity behind him. He's thinking, okay, let's get some first serves in here. Maybe I can dictate play with my forehand.
Kansas. 15 up. Third kill. Content. 30-15.
First set in the other feature match at the moment. Matosevic and Paire has also still going on. It's into a tie break there. Paire 5-4 ahead.
Just crush that backhand. That's what makes him dangerous. You know, he takes you out of your rhythm. You're always seemingly responding to his plays. It's tough to do the things you like to do. And this is another massive moment. These guys have played fairly equal tennis. Both have had chances. But it's going to come down to 1 or 2 moments in the next 5-10 minutes. So who's going to take this set?
Got into the point again with a good return and fine work from the back of the court. Must be rather twitchy there at the moment. Watching Rafa come up now to try and save this break point. Got it. Boy, did he. Janowicz breaks through and will look to serve it out. Nadal, who missed here last year, lost early the previous season. Was champion back in 2005 and also again in 2008.
Good build-up in that exchange. Jerzy went with the jump backhand a la Marat Safin. Lost it over the baseline. And you can see there's that first serve percentage, Barry, that you've been talking about. He's been struggling to find that when he needs it.
Through skill. Drove him back off the serve and then raced in and took all the pace off this. Exquisite.
He's making this tough on himself. Ooh. That's a surprising error from Nadal. He did well to get into the point, kept some depth on the return. Failed to get that last two-hander into play.
Very vocal. Janowicz after that looking right at Nadal. Oh, what a miss. He knows how costly that might be. Nadal wasn't sure what was coming. Was it going to be another drop shot beforehand, or was it going to be that punch up the line? This should have been put away.
Wow. That was a stunner, wasn't it? Really routine smash right on top of the net.
Just knew that Nadal was going to make the most of it. That miss of Janowicz, that reminded me of that moment against Ferrer earlier in the year. And do you remember that? Rafa somehow got a lob over the top of him when Ferrer was a couple of points from beating him, and it turned the match around, and that could well be a match changer. We're into a tiebreak.
Well, it reminded me also, didn't Nadal miss a short smash against Verdasco in Madrid? Cost him the match. The only time that Verdasco had beaten Nadal, it was I think it was on the blue clay. It was a short smash that he missed. Stunning that such great players can, you know, make such a simple error. But again, pressure is a remarkable thing.
Taken by Rafa. That ball circling around in the air, swirling around, but he got this absolutely right. And he's played so many of these matches, been in such situations so many times. He'll draw strength now, huge strength, from getting through that last game.
And there have been times today when he's been nothing short of spectacular. I mean, this was a great return from Nadal. Boom. Nice control. Didn't panic. Great reply.
You expect nothing less now.
Have you kept track of these drop shot winners? I mean, he must be at least 8.
I think they should add one officially, shouldn't they, to the stats page? Drop shots.
Drop shot winners.
Yeah.
Well, when this guy plays, I think you need to see that. Right now, I'd say he's playing more drop shots than any other player.
Definitely.
And with the most success.
Again, the tee serve.
Jewel.
And again, the ace. Missed that. Nadal missed that.
I suppose you could say we've seen some brilliant tennis and then some amazing errors as well. Janowicz, that smash on top of the net. Here's Nadal with a short forehand. He could make that one in his sleep.
What a battle this is turning out to be.
4-2, Janowicz.
And again, Nadal actually played a very good point. I mean, he had a strong serve that he handled well with a good deep return.
Let's cross briefly to the other stadium a few moments ago. Matosevic at set point. Matosevic at this end of the court.
It's defense in the court. Right shot side down. Ball is called out.
And he went to the challenge. But that looks like that might be Matosevic's set against the Frenchman. Indeed it is. Oh, just. Back live now in the main stadium. Janowicz 4-2 up. Make it 5-2.
Oh, he is doing so many things well today. He's just recognizing the times to get into the net. It's one thing just to come in, but yeah, look at, he senses Nadal is just off his back foot enough. He's got a floating reply, and he is right on top of the net. Look at how close he gets. And you can have a pretty high percentage from there. It's a nice move. Nadal's in some real trouble here. He needs to get both of his service points, or it's curtains.
Back against the grain of this tiebreak. But Janowicz has made so many good returns, hasn't he, today against the Spaniard serve. They've given him opportunities. Shouldn't surprise us that he went after that again. He has the advantage, the mini break. He has 2 points to come on his serve, 2 points that might secure the set. Bearing in mind he messed up when he tried to serve it out before the tie break. Again, showing real character and strength in so many ways.
Well, he went to the body there. You know, will he go back down the center of the box, or will he go down the tee, maybe try and get an ace?
Nadal narrowed it down and draws level.
Well, the serve was a high-spinning one out to the Nadal forehand. It just didn't gain him any advantage. Nadal was quick to see it, recognized it, got into the point well. 5 points all.
Oh dear. The old trouble resurfaces at the most inopportune moment. Another double fault. Catalogue of those through the first 2 matches for him. And one here that now hands Nadal his 4th set point. Had 3 of them in the 10th game.
Janowicz challenge a caller, left side line, was calling. Oliver turn, second serve.
Again, fortune favouring the pole.
Wow. Did I hear some Nadal fans booing, actually? It was a great second serve.
It was a miss-hit return, but got it in play and then off the net cord, dropped stone dead on Nadal's side. On it goes, Leaf.
I mean, what drama. These guys have played some very competitive stuff. And we still do not have a man with an advantage here.
So which one will have the next set point? You could hear a pin drop, the tension around before the serve came. Missed reply from the pole. And now serving against another set point for Nadal. Fantastic from Rafa, the former champion. Comes up trumps at the end, but what a first set that was. What a conclusion. Genius to finish it. Janowicz, all that effort in vain. Can he... high level. How will this man respond now to that reverse? He's had to go the distance in both of his first 2 matches. That's the requirement for him yet again today. Typically, he starts with the first serve in play and an ace. He could have done with some of those earlier in the piece, but he has to put things behind him to stay in the present and see what he can do from here. But Nadal now catching hold of that.
And by the very nature of tennis, Nadal, as he gets into the match, he's going to see more of these serves. He's going to get an idea of where Janowicz likes to go. Nadal is already so good at getting balls back into play. Almost really one of the keys that he was able to sort of get back in this. If you were asked, well, who is the better player? Not looking at this, go, who's been playing better? I might even say Janowicz has actually played a little bit better. But one thing he didn't do that Nadal does as well as anyone is compete. Nadal doesn't give up. He can shank and miss hit and struggle, but he's always present.
Yeah, it's not often you say that Nadal's opponent has been the person dictating the bulk of play. It's really dependent on how he's performed. I mean, Rafa has just looked for that moment, waited, and then pounced.
Yeah, I don't think you'd say, well, Nadal was definitely the better player and that he deserved to win that set. Yeah, he had 3-4 set points. He certainly had Janowicz on the ropes. But, it was only a couple of moments that he was better. And that's what defines the great players. Under the most pressure, the most valuable times, the points, the moments in the match are key. They are there. They show up.
Well, rather unorthodox, but terrific nonetheless. The half volley he played off his toes, and then that one just put round the corner. Thank you very much. First game.
Yeah, that was almost a half volley pass, too. Something you saw a lot from Andre Agassi, who, if you hit a deep approach, he would just take it on the half volley and crack it. Get a glimpse of Nadal. He doesn't really think as much about attacking the second serve. He likes to let the ball drop into his hit. He's actually up a little closer on the first serves. I mean, that's an interesting little graphic. Obviously he's trying to fight off the pace, trying to take away some of that angle on the first serve.
And also perhaps some of the height of the ball, because from Janowicz it comes down from such a great height that the further back he is, the higher it gets on him.
Yeah, that's a good point. And they talk about Karlovic's serve being maybe the highest bouncing. It's not just the pace, it's also that bounce. By the time it gets to you, it's above your head. It's very unusual. 6'10", Karlovic. John Isner is also 6'10". John Anderson is 6'8" tall. Janowicz is 6'8" tall.
Kevin Anderson, yeah.
Kevin Anderson. And we could have a good basketball team on the ATP World Tour these days.
Or volleyball, which of course he
David Ferrer
was expected to play, wasn't he? Janowicz, his parents both professional volleyball players. Certainly the Polish volleyball authorities were very hopeful that it would be that sport to which he turned, but he always said that he preferred the individual nature of tennis. It's one of Rafa's bottles gone flying. Spilt on the court.
15. 15.
Just ended up getting a little too close to that one. That's one of the dangers of, hitting the ball when you're up in the air. It's tough to make any adjustments if you're not right. And if your feet are on the ground, you can just move your feet.
Once again, 30-15. On the back, 30.
It's one of those for him. First chance maybe in the set to do some damage for Janowicz. Had that break point on Nadal in the very first game of the match. And he's got another now.
He had a hand to Janowicz. He's not showing too much disappointment from having lost that opening set with chances to win it himself. He stayed pretty focused. He's kept his emotions in check.
There is the breakthrough. Shocker from Nadal. He's such a big man. I mean, you shouldn't really think of it like that. He just moves as well as, he needs to. It's not like he's a giant who struggles with movement against the very best. He's there and he's putting pressure in that respect on Nadal. He's feeling he's got to do a bit more with the ball.
15 left.
With immense pace off the ground into Nadal, jamming him on that line.
You can see he has grabbed the momentum early in the second set. Sometimes I'm asked, how do you get the momentum going in your favor? And obviously you need to play well. I always feel winning consecutive points, as Janowicz has done here. Consecutive points build momentum, and they allow you to play freely, loosely. You're ahead in the score. You can see first serves also help. Points won consecutively and quickly can build serious momentum.
There's another put on the money. Another game one. It's all Janowicz at the moment in this second set.
3 games to love.
Aegon.
Had such a good run. And Davydenko, the former world number 3, up against Alex Bogomolov Jr., who took out David Ferrer yesterday evening. Our main focus, though, right now remains here. Rafa in need of a response to the reverse so far in the second set. Still playing on the second show court. The first match of the day there between Benoit Paire and Marinko Matosevic, which we saw Matosevic taking the first set on a tiebreak, 9-7. And Paire leads on serve at the moment, 4-3 in the second set.
Yeah, Nadal has to be careful with that serve there. There's just not enough happening there, and JJ sees it and just gets on top of it and rips it.
On the can. 13-15.
Only 20 months ago, this guy couldn't afford to go to Australia to play at the Open there, and now look at him.
Now he can't afford not to. This is a guy who has the potential, because of his big game and his fearless play, to win slams. How many Wimbledons has he played? And he's already been to the semifinals.
Yet to win a title on the tour, but could it be that his first title would be a major?
I mean, this is starting to look like one of those sets that sometimes Nadal can have, where a big hitting opponent just starts teeing off and can just take the set easily. Is that going to happen here? Well, maybe not.
Égalité. Deuce.
Let's remember that point, though. If Nadal's able to hang on to his serve here, get a break back.
Avantage Nadal.
Break on his run to that point.
Thank you.
got a good view there of the height off that serve when it reared up off the court. But Nadal making a good control in his reply here. That cramped up the pole, put him out of position. Very close to the net, but very good control. The Spaniard to this.
Yeah, normally when you drop shot, you have to take a step or two into the court to protect from that kind of reply. Janowicz just stood still. So here's this break advantage in jeopardy at love 30. Second serve.
I see the mark, but I'm not sure from here. Second count. Love 14.
Will we have the benefit? We will of the replay, and indeed it was just too far.
15 seconds. 15 14.
Frustration in that attempt. Too hard, too far. And 2 games now for Nadal. He's broken back.
3 games to 2.
And that's down to Janowicz's errors, not just the good play of Nadal.
Now, well, anytime you take a breather in a set against Rafa, he's going to pounce because he always makes you play. He always challenges you to play every point. He very rarely gives away much. It's just so hard to sustain that high level to get. I mean, Janowicz could be up 5-love right now. Instead, it's Nadal serving to get even.
Kansas 15. Third killer. Fourth killer.
So parity restored very quickly by Rafa. But not bringing a whole lot to that last game. The intensity wasn't really there. The returns were certainly not as good as they have been in much of this contest. And now the onus on him to hold the serve again, not let Nadal overtake him. Not that it'll be on his mind right now, but real potential this week for Janowicz to break into the top 15 for the first time. String of players just above him have all for one reason or another, no longer involved. Seymour, Fanini, Cilic, Almagro.
Maybe Tommy Haas, too, is just up ahead of Raonic there on that list. This could be a valuable time for the youngster from Poland. I mean, he's starting to really put himself in the bright lights area.
Well, that's certainly top 15 play. Stepping up, standing up to Nadal from the back of the court.
Yeah, and what I like about this is that he doesn't, have to get in this, open stance position to hit. It's a transition for him. He makes the move, hits through the ball, and in the same motion is moving forward. I mean, it's a natural attacking play. And he's pretty competent from the back of the court as well. This guy's got a tremendous upside.
That's
the downside, though, isn't it, at the moment? Not quite sure when another one of those doubles is coming. He's not been able to really rely on the big first serve as much as he might.
If you just watch his serve, there are times when his left arm seems to come down too soon. Yeah, that time he held it up there a little bit longer.
And again, he swoops to finish. Nadal has had to do so much chasing and harrying around, hasn't he? He's not been able to take up his stock position and push his opponent hither and thither. It's totally competitive.
Did you say hither and thither?
Thither.
Thither.
I'll try not to say it again.
Okay. Couldn't quite get that. That was good. I thought it was hither and yon.
Where I come from.
And again, a natural attacking backhand. I mean, he's comfortable hitting and moving, following it in.
He placed the ball so well again and again, shot after shot, and he can sit down leading once more in this second set. Djokovic, the night match against Denis Istomin. That's in the heat of this bright afternoon. A terrific tussle. Long may it continue. From a neutral perspective, it might well do. Janowicz doing a fine job in that last game to keep Nadal at bay for the moment.
Allow 15.
That's just great all round again. Nadal surprised by Janowicz getting that one back from out wide. And he just kept on until the finish.
Boy, that is a great reflex volley because there was some serious heat coming off the two-hander. Handled it well. Just created that soft little angle.
seconds. 30-15.
Well, Jimmy Connors, the great American champion, 8 Grand Slam titles, he would have said that that was a pretty good error because he was definitely trying to make something happen. He committed to the shot, just missed it.
Trying to force his body to pick that up. Nadal having to make the extra stretch with every step, but it wasn't enough.
I think yesterday the guys were talking about how Bjorn Borg once said that tennis is 1,000 little sprints, and when you watch Nadal play, I think it's 2,000 little sprints because this guy does more running, hard running, than any player I think who's ever played the game.
And that was a jump drop shot. He hit it in the air. Yeah, you can imagine Nadal will feel a bit sore tomorrow, whatever happens today.
Four-all. Now there's that position you were talking about with Nadal. I mean, he's as good as anyone that's ever played the game. When he has the ball in the center of the court, he has that position. You know, some coaches call that the red zone. Others coaches call it, the winning area where you're either ending the point or definitely taking advantage of it, building the point in your favor. Such a good return as well.
15 left.
Almost like he's trying to grunt as loud as Rafa. Certainly went into that point in that way, but into the net in the end. Tread carefully now, though. Nine double faults.
18-14.
There were 9 in his first match, 11 yesterday, and that number of 9 today so far. 2 break points for Rafa, huge points in the match. Drew him in and then fired the pass, and that was enough to give him the lead and the chance to finish it off. 5-4 ahead, second set. Straight sets. Two games all he dropped yesterday in dismissing Jesse Levine. It's a total step up in the threat posed to him, but he has, it seems, the answers to it.
Now, there have been times today where Janowicz, again, that forehand just a little bit flat. You know, he doesn't have sort of that natural brush up and over the top. He likes to hit through the ball, which is great. But you can see if he doesn't get it just right, it can float over the baseline. Can't get it back.
Striding towards the finish line, Nadal looking to become the first player to make it to the quarterfinals this year.
On second. 30-15.
And again, that's about as flat a forehand as you'll see. I mean, it's not even it's almost not even a semi-Western. Almost a little old school in his grip.
On his terms at the finish here. And a lot of this match has not been. However, Nadal now with 2 points to finish it. Rafa wins in straight sets, but that barely tells the story of this match. This first encounter, both will learn a lot from it, I'm sure, what the other can bring to the court, and we look forward to another clash between them. But it's Nadal who moves on today in Montreal.
Yeah, this was an entertaining match. Nadal had to earn that. Janowicz was all over him, attacking.